After this interview, I was threatened with legal action and told my career would be ruined if I published it. So here it is. All right, let's see it.
Hi, I'm Sandy. My pronouns are she, her. I am here representing for Mammies for Trans Rights today. We have just come into the park. We're very hot and sweaty and tired and full of emotional because the streets were full of joy for our trans kids. So our group is about stepping out for standing up for our kids because the political landscape is heinous. And we, our two co-founders, neither of whom are here today, unfortunately, Claire and Karen, they decided that they needed to do something. And so we all formed, and year on year, month on month, there's more and more of us coming together across Ireland in all of the Pride marches and protests this summer. We're nearly in every one of them. So we're going around spreading love, spreading the joy of being parents who can love and stand up for our kids.
And do your members have trans kids?
Some do, some don't. So some are allies. Some people don't have children at all. So to be a Mammies for Trans Rights and participate in this group is about loving all of our kids and giving all of our children, wherever you're from and whatever you look like and whatever your gender and your identity and sexuality is.
Holy shit.
That is all of our kids. So you don't actually have to be a parent at all to be participating, and we have loads of people who aren't. So we've got the baddies, we got the mums, the uncles.
The kid is running around with the oppression flag on. Oh
the
my
grands,
god.
the dads, the nibblings, the siblings.
Jesus.
All of these people.
And can I ask you, what do you think of the puberty blocker trial over in the UK at the minute? There's a lot of pushback against it.
I think it's a really difficult conversation. I think they give puberty blockers to kids who are having
How is this allowed?
early puberty anyway.
We let them do it.
I don't know why it's different when it's a trans person.
Yeah.
And that's where I think if this is a mechanism that's going to keep a kid alive rather than not, as an intervention.
Let me change my gender or I'm going to kill myself. Oh, right. Yeah, that's called a mental disorder. Yeah, if you want to kill yourself as a kid, you need to be committed to a mental institution.
You know, why not? Why wouldn't
doing?
we do that when we do that to another 8-year-old who's having early puberty, which is where that medication comes from, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't that be different?
Oh my god.
I think it is quite different. Like if in the CAS report it says that puberty blockers are likely to cause things like osteoporosis within young children and stunts.
The CAS report has been debunked by many, many scientists at this point. So I don't think it's something that we need in Ireland to bring in and stand over. I think we need to do Irish research for our Irish...
See, I think that the moment that these people make an appeal to an authority, like, oh, it's been debunked, I wish that they would ask follow-up questions like, well, what if it did cause these things? Like, would you still support it? And the answer actually for all of these people, that they'll meander around it, but the answer is actually yes. So while they do try to use the authority as a justification, they don't require a justification. They would do it anyway.
Community and for all of our people who live here,
still say yes.
I think there is a fair amount of research available and people doing research in this country that we can look to the best models of healthcare. So, for instance, I know people who are going to Iceland to look at their model of healthcare just because they're our neighbouring country.
Isn't Iceland subsidized by Denmark? Iceland's massively subsidized by Denmark.
Have a model of healthcare that is failing significantly the trans community. I don't think that's the place to look, and I don't think we need to import that here.
That's Greenland? Oh, sorry. No, you're right. That is Greenland. Excuse me. I was wrong.
Honest,
Well, prior to the CAS report, there was countries like Sweden stopped prescribing puberty blockers to children because they seen it was doing a lot of damage.
Sure.
What do you make of that?
Isn't it crazy that Leif Erikson actually... Wasn't he the one that named it? 700 years later, he's still getting people. He's still getting them. That's crazy.
Sure. I mean, I'm not a scientist or a medical person. I'm a parent. And, like, my job as a parent is to advocate for my child's safety and life.
Got
and
him.
if puberty blockers might lead to osteoporosis down the line versus a dead child really soon, I know where I'm going to go.
There's also another study that shows that after someone transitions, the suicide rate actually goes up. So the argument that, you know, a dead child or a trans child doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, there's significant studies that would say, like the Trevor Project will say that one adult in a trans life who stands beside them significantly reduces the suicide likelihood. So, I mean, I guess, again, I'm not a scientist, I'm a parent. So what I know about science is that we can probably take science to show whatever we want to if we want to be biased to something.
These people don't actually give a shit about science. Whenever they quote studies, whenever they say, oh, well, this is what's proven, they don't actually care about that. They think that you care about that. That's why they're saying it. These people are weird freaks that want to genetically change children. They should be put in a fucking prison. So really, you have to keep in mind that every time they try to make a play for rationality or scientific method or anything like that, they only do this in the process of trying to basically skinwalk your ideology against you to allow them to do whatever disgusting weird shit they're trying to do.
And I mean, it's to each parent's prerogative, right, of how they decide, how they bring their kid in, how they talk with their kid, how they engage in informed consent and advocating for their child, with their child, of their child. And I mean, that's a really individual, it's each parent for what their priorities are and how they live in their lives and their families. I wouldn't say that it is an overarching, this is what must be done or not be done. But we need some healthcare in this country for our trans kids because currently we have none.
Yeah, you do. It's called a mental institution. And you need to be in it with them too. The kid and the parent needs to be in it. The kid needs to be in an institution so they can be rehabilitated from the abuse that they had to deal with from the parent. And the parent needs to be in the mental institution because they wanted to mutilate a child. It's actually really simple. I agree.
You know, you're looking at extensive wait lists to the point that they're like non-available, right?
Well, wouldn't a good argument for that be because it's become such a social trend, like onset rapid gender dysphoria becoming...
No, I don't think so.
Thing?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Even
though the numbers for trans children has skyrocketed in recent years?
No.
So why do you think the numbers have grown so significantly?
I would say probably things like more language available, more education. You know, in the 80s, there was, I don't know how many people in this field were queer and didn't have the language for it. And maybe it's like not too different to that, you know? And maybe there's a safety mechanism of people understanding that I can come out or I didn't come out because I didn't have the safety, I didn't have the household, there wasn't the space for me, or I didn't have the words.
But children as young as 8 and 10, they don't really have the capability to understand that language in the first place, so people understand them now.
I think they do. I think they do know things.
She thinks that kids understand the nature of being gay and being trans, and they understand the political ramifications of it, and they have like fucking 3-dimensional reasoning of like why it would be more okay to come out as trans now versus before. Like, I'm sorry, but like if you're a parent and you have an 8-year-old kid and you think that your kid is trans and you're dressing them in the other gender's clothes and you're trying to get them on puberty blockers and stuff, you need to have that kid taken away from you, and you need to be brought up on charges for child abuse. This is an insane, disgusting thing, and the fact that we're allowing people to do this at all will be looked at historically as an evil. It is an evil that we are allowing. Like, we need to immediately shut these people down, and we need to do so in a way that is punitive. It's not enough to simply remove the problem. We have to punish the people who created it. It's grooming and it's sick. Yeah, these people, they're basically pedophiles.
People are really disparaging sometimes of children, and like, I mean, if we're running around and we've got like people giving baby grows to a little boy being like, I'm whatever, and then on a little girl, their little thing is I'm so cute and kiss me and all this. I mean, it's the same but in a different, it's dressed up differently, right?
Yeah,
you know?
well, I suppose so, but like if I had a son who was like 2 years old and I put him in...
The difference is that like they're actually a boy though, right? Because they're born a biological male. So like that's kind of like a pretty big difference though, right? Because like, you know, you're going to get a boy clothes for boys because he's actually a boy. Like I feel like that's a pretty big like little fine point there.
Saying I'm a girl, whatever. It wouldn't actually be a girl though.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
No? Oh.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that we emblazon and we live our lives surrounded in a heteronormative patriarchy. And so those social norms are projected on.
You know what the fact is? The fact that this stupid, retarded Karen is able to go out and talk about this proves that we're not living in a patriarchy. Because the patriarchy that I dream of would never allow a person like this to do this. I wish you were right. I do. I wish you were right. And back when you were actually right, the world was a better place.
To children without the children having any consent to that anyway. And so how is that not...
This is also, and this is another really big component to like what their ideology is that biological realities children can't consent to. So it implies that they can allow children to consent to other things because they can't consent to a biological reality such as puberty. It's a false equivalence that's created in order to open the door to allowing children to consent to sexual behavior. That's what they're doing.
How is that okay? But a child who has the language to say, this is how I'm feeling today, this is how I'm feeling tomorrow, why don't they have the language? I mean, if our job as parents is to lead and inform and educate and listen to our kids, if they're going to tell us something, certainly to my mind, from my job as a parent in my house, this is the only place that it matters to me. It's my job in my house to listen to my child, and it's another parent's job.
Well, why don't you just give them infinite candy? Why not, like, whenever your kid says, I don't want to exercise, I just want to sit all day and watch TV and sit on the iPad and eat gummy worms for every single meal, why aren't you giving him gummy worms? Why are you telling them that he has to go to bed at a certain time? So why is it that, for example, a child can't make a decision on what they want to eat on a day-to-day basis? They can't make a decision on when they need to go to sleep on a day-to-day basis. They can't make a decision on, you know, like what they're going to wear to school, but they can make a decision on their gender. How does that make any sense? There's no reasoning to this at all. Why would you default to an 8-year-old's judgment or viewpoints on something as important as their gender? It doesn't make any sense.
In their house to listen
People
to their
are
child.
lunatics.
And as I say to my kid, our rules are our rules. Their rules are their rules. Just because they do something doesn't mean that we're going to do it or you're going to be allowed what your friends are doing, right?
Yeah, so you can do whatever you want. So I have my own rules, and one of them is you can change your gender.
Fair enough, but would you let a child get a tattoo?
Well, no child is allowed to get a tattoo until they're 16.
These people need to be oppressed. They're begging to be oppressed. They're saying, we need to be put in a fucking institution, in a jail, in something.
Or 18.
Oh my.
So they need consent already. That's already looked after.
Why is that? Is that because it's a lifelong decision?
Well, it's probably health and safety. There's consent. There's informed consent there. You know, we're not talking. I mean, I know you're going to try and hone in on the puberty blockers piece, right? Social transition is the first part of this, right? Do you know what that is? Social transition?
I do. The CAS review also found...
Yeah, that's when all of the adults in your life try to groom you into being a girl whenever you're not a girl. That's what a social transition is. If you're socially transitioning somebody in a public school, I think that you should have your education license taken away, and any of the administrators that were aware of it or enabled it should all be brought up inside of grooming charges, federal grooming charges. It's because, again, guys, it's not enough for them to lose their job. You have to destroy their life. You have to completely and absolutely destroy their life. And only then will they start listening. And maybe that might not even be enough. You might have to go around after the people around them in order to create a culture of fear to make other people enforce this on each other. And I'm not above that.
That socially transitioned
I
child
think we should
in
do
most
that.
cases would lead to that child going on puberty blockers or hormones later in life.
Some kids, yeah. Not all kids.
It's found that the majority of kids that were socially transitioned.
I mean, maybe that's right for them, right? And like that.
Maybe that's right for them.
It's a slow, gentle process. Like a kid doesn't come in.
You know what else is a slow, gentle process? Grooming. Grooming is this. Isn't it crazy how you could have this? You could literally just change the vocabulary. You could change one word, and this person would be advocating for themselves going to jail. It's a simple process it's a slow process getting a kid to believe they're another gender. Oh my God. 100% if you have the ability to screw with a child's mental capacity at all, to prove a point or conduct some kind of social experiment, something's wrong with you, something is wrong with you. There is something fundamentally wrong with these people. There are. This isn't going to happen because the politicians don't care about common people enough to make it happen. I really think that a person who's willing to go after these people and like really actually like seriously go after them, I think that they would get a huge amount of public support. I think they would. A crazy amount of public support. The moment that they just came out and they said, these people are dangerous, deranged, pedophile freaks, and we're going to treat them that way, which means destroying every aspect of their life systematically, and then throwing the book at them and putting them in institutions and removing all of their rights. The moment that you have a person come out and say that, I think that they are going to have an insane amount of support. I think people are tired of these weird freaks running around trying to run society. I think they're completely tired of it. I know I'm tired of it. I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's a lot of people that they see some weird fucking, I don't even know what this is, this person going around advocating for this stuff, like molesting children, trying to groom them into being another gender, trying to have adults that aren't even the parents doing it as well. I think that the moment that you actually take a firm stance against these people and you make it not justice, but punishment and retribution, because that's what they deserve. It is.
8 and go.
Do you have an issue with trans adults? No, I don't have an issue with trans adults at all. I don't think that you can. Yeah, I don't think a trans woman is a woman. I think they're a trans woman. But I don't have an issue with a person transitioning as an adult. That's my perspective on it, right? I'm not going to tell you that, like, I'm not going to say that, like, you're not allowed to not say that. That's just my opinion.
I want to go on puberty blockers. A kid might come in at 8 and go...
Exactly, they'd be led down that path by an adult.
No, they're not led down any path by any adult. An adult might listen to them and say, ooh, let's think about this. What feels right? What isn't right? How does that look for you? Now, I'm going to have to go because we're...
How is that any different than grooming? That's the exact same thing as grooming. It's one for one.
We're up on stage now.
Right,
So
well,
thank you
best
very
of
much
luck.
for your
Best
time.
of luck to you.
Cheers,
Thank you.
thanks very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, take it easy.
Oh my God. So we stopped filming. My cameraman was chased out of the park with a man wearing Daddies for Trans t-shirt. I was threatened with legal action. Told my career would be ruined if I released the footage, and a group of people would not let us leave. This is also another reason why you need to go after these people, is because they'll go after you. At the time, I agreed to not publish it because the situation had become increasingly confrontational and I didn't think it would be worth it. I've changed my mind. If journalists are willing to interview people that they agree with, they also should be willing to ask difficult questions about the people that they disagree with. You hear claims about the CAST review, the most comprehensive independent study of the pediatric gender medicine date. It's been debunked. You also hear Iceland presented as a model for children's gender care. These people deserve scrutiny. Yes, exactly. I think it's true.
Hi, I'm Sandy.
so-
My pronouns are she, her.
Because when people think of grooming, they're thinking of a creep trying to flirt with an underage girl. They don't know the actual definition of a word. Well, whenever there's a creep trying to flirt with an underage girl, it's fundamentally an adult trying to coerce a child into sexual behavior or into some sort of sexual activity. This is the same thing. This is an adult trying to coerce and trying to lead a child to a conclusion, a sexual decision that they don't fully understand. How do we know that they don't fully understand it? Because they're 8 years old. That's how you tell. They're pedos. The people that are targeting 8-year-olds with this absolutely are. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Of course, adults hold significant influence over children. Yeah, definitely. It's called grooming. Age of consent depends, but I do fully agree with you. Age of consent does depend, but I'm not talking about 16 to 18, okay? I'm talking about 8. 8 is a very different conversation than 17, okay? Like, I think that we all know that. And obviously, like, 20 years old is, that's your own decision. You're not being groomed at that point, right? Unless it's some kind of, like, weird fucking government thing, like, you know, like MK Ultra or something, right? The problem is that you allow or okay with adult people being trans. You have to be okay with trans kids because it's the adults that make the kids trans. Well, how about so you think that it's the adults that make the kids trans? I think that there are people out there. So this is my opinion, right? I think that there are people out there who genuinely believe that they're the opposite gender. I think that if you just kind of do some thinking about like what really is the scope of human psychology, right? People think all kinds of crazy things. There's people that are schizophrenic, people that think they talk to ghosts, etc. Is it really outside of the ordinary to expect that a person thinks they're another gender? I don't really think that that's too outrageous to believe. So really, and again, like you could say that you shouldn't enable it. You can say that I don't agree with it. You can do any of that stuff, but I don't think that it necessarily means that trans adults are trying to talk to kids about being trans. And I don't think that they should do that. And to the extent that they do that, that means that I think they should be put in jail. So in any of the instances where you are accurate, our solution to this problem is probably the same. I just don't think that it's a 100% ratio. That's all. Too much risk of society. Probably 85% the parent encouraging their kids. Well, it's women. It's mothers encouraging their kids to be trans so they can use them as social accessories.
They can say what they want.
I think that's it.
They can say what they want to say. Even if
oh, this is... Man. This is... He's trying to pick a side with this. Oh, God.
I'll have a vanilla latte, please.
Hey.
No. No.
I'll have a vanilla latte, please.
Hey, this guy wants a vanilla latte.
I'm not a guy. My pronouns are she, her.
I'm sorry. She wants a vanilla latte.
Hey, did he want this iced or hot?
She! I am a she!
Shit, I am so sorry, dude. I mean, man, ma'am.
She!
What are you doing? Are you crazy?
I'm sorry, I can't help it. He looks like a dude.
I'm sorry. If you don't stop, this guy's gonna shoot up our shop.
Sorry again, enjoy your coffee.
Please come again. Have a good day, sir. Oh, shit.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. People are really having fun with this character, huh? I wonder if this character is going to enter the AI cinematic universe. I wonder if they will. Because it's been, people really like this a lot. They do. And act exactly like that, I guess so. And it's just fucking ridiculous, but that's the way that people are.